Check, 1, 2, check. This is for Richard Grannon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I keep wanting to pronounce your last name I keep wanting to add something to it. I'm sorry. I've been watching you pretty religiously for a couple weeks. I just recently came out. I was off the grid for 6 years. I survived what I was told was malignant narcissistic suicide, where like a sadistic psychopath who has brainwashed you into living with abuse, physical, then pulls the carpet out from under you. I got debanked, criminalized, did that whole thing where she knocked my teeth out and then kicked me out, and then came out here to my family's farm property area, and when I threatened to make her, I'm reliving it, I'm sorry. When I walked out and threatened to call 911, unless she left, she moved on my 81-year-old grandmother. And then I was like, okay, you gotta get out of here. And then she went immediately to the police department or the courthouse because her father was the president of the city council, and an upstanding member of the society. I should probably tell you why I just started recording this. I just finished your 20-25 minute stream on the law of attraction, you titled it. And that's synchronicity. That is synchronicity. I have experienced it many, many, many times. That's the reason why I'm doing this, because I thought to myself, you know what? I want to make a response video to this because I have been wanting to contact you in some way. I wanted to tell you my story. And I want to get back out. I have to get back out into society because I finally healed from this. And talk about super ego interjections. I'd spend all day in tears or just blowing up at people. I just got to the point where I'm comfortable releasing content again without feeling that I have to, that I can't go check it. It was bad. It was the mental prison. I still have no idea how that happened, but anyway, I was going to brush up on my synchronicity language and stuff like that, and Sagan, and before I started making this, like a based individual. So I just went and found a podcast. Never heard of it before. Clicked on it. Looked like something decent. Said synchronicity and Jung. I'm a huge Carl Jung fan. I love psychoanalysis. Love it. I'm also horribly dyslexic and a kinetic synesthesiac. Synesthesius? I have synesthesia. I feel words. Colors are numbers to me. Numbers are colors. Colors are numbers. 2's always orange. Don't know why. But I see auras and shit. You're an athlete. I was a college pitcher, and I was a scratch golfer when I was, before I went through my trauma. And you know the field, right? I just call it the energy field. but with golf, and especially like hand-eye coordination, that's what I'm good at. Like, just, I mean, I can pinpoint stuff, and somebody used to call me the auxiliary sportsman at Ohio State. Like, I just walk up half-crocked to whatever fraternity party. Horseshoes, I dominate all day. Cornhole, dominate. I never lose. It's left-handed, right-eyed. I don't know. It's really the only thing I could do well for several decades. So, because I'm starting to come to realize that I've been under the thumb of one of them for 45 years. In some way, shape, or form. But anyway, sorry, I'm scattery, because I just experienced literally synchronicity. I jumped on this podcast. I don't know when they recorded it, but immediately, for some reason, one of the co-hosts just starts randomly talking about Blondie's rhythm guitarist. And literally yesterday, I just spoke with Michael Malice on X about the Blondie drummer who just happened to die 2 days ago. So Malice put just, random X post, something about Debbie Harry looking amazing, how she always looked amazing. And it's just me. I am a comic, so I just start scanning the back, because she's got a band of 5 men behind her who no one has any idea who they are. And I just found the stupidest looking one, and I was like, yeah, him. He just happened to be Chet Burke, one of the best drummers ever to live. But he just had this really stupid look on his face, and I was like, no way, Michael. This guy right here, look at this guy. Look at the beauty. Look at his face. Is so sleepy, and that matinee idolish sleepy Joe look. But then Malice, the day after that, comes back and says he died today. And I'm like, what? This is surreal. So I went and I listened to a Blondie track, and I thought about how to respond to that, and I was like, surreal. And then I said, Chet Burke was a fucking revelation. If you go and you look at his quotes about how he got to where he got to, I mean, this man played in several super groups in the 70s and 80s. Obviously, the drummer for Blondie. He was the drummer. I think he played with Queen at some point. I mean, he played with literally everybody. And his quote was that he knew from a very young age that he needed to go find his Debbie Harry, his Jim Morrison, his Mick Jagger, because he played drums. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he was good at. He knew who he was, and he went and he took it. He seized it. And that, I think, is where a lot of this lies, is that I have been under this spell of like brain fog, confusion. I was just thinking about this today. Like, this is the shit that goes through my mind about my childhood. My mother was non-existent, either in jail, on crack, drunk somewhere, who the hell knows. My entire childhood, I had no idea. My childhood is defined by my mother not being here. But from my earliest memories of when she used to just disappear, and this was when I was probably around 5 or 6, when she just started disappearing to places. And I was like left at my grandparents' place. I mean, our like family farmland stuff. This is like, Rust Belt, Ohio. There's like a homestead every mile and a half. Farmland or whatever. I'm just in the garage. This is my studio. But it is defined by like me waiting for her to come home. I mean, it is like I don't have a sense of self. Like if somebody always asked me, like if anybody ever asked me like what I wanted to do, it was always ridiculous, nonsensical shit. Like I wanted to be a baseball. Well, I played college baseball, but I was never going to play in the bigs. I mean, I'm 5'10". I'm a pitcher. I'm 5'10". There's no way. I'm not Tim Lincecum. So, and then I wanted to be an actor. Okay. Well, then I went and did acting. Then I went and did that. I mean, then this was all like, I was just doing what my mother like wanted me to do. And I got really good. Really good at acting. I'm a descendant of Sanford Meisner, the Neighborhood Playhouse, New York City. I've been on a national tour, and I just gave that up to chase a woman. Does that sound like I have a BFA in acting. I'm a method actor, literally. I try to live it, but I try to keep it. I'm kind of comical. That's another thing. I don't think I'll get around to it, but the synchronicity shit is huge. I'm sorry, I just started rambling there, but because I'm excited to make this video. I was excited to get a little synchronicity direction in doing it now. So I just feel like I have license, I guess, to just go off the cuff. But let me tell you how because I just heard you say that you say you're a high conscientiousness, high narcissism. Boom. I'm an ENTP. If you're the rarest, I'm the second rarest. So, and I'm still an ENTP after getting my face blasted while I was asleep with a 20-pound antique oak plant stand. Bap! Right across the face, blood's going off, and it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, ah! And then I saw her. I looked up at her, and I was like, oh my God, it's like flashback shit. Because I was screaming. And I looked up at her, and I'm just like, I had both my hands at my face, and I have a picture of the aftermath of me just like one eye is just like off in the, like one eye's like cockeyed to the right, and my nose is just like blasted open, and there's blood everywhere. She did this and ripped her t-shirt open. And then literally a beat later, her son runs out on the front porch. And she's like, ah! And she screams and runs inside. That is the kind of demon I was dealing with. That's what I had up my ass for 3 years. Trying to get me to off myself. I tied a noose. I was 3 feet away. The only thing that saved me was writing. I think about that. Because I'm dyslexic. Horribly. Like, if I was just looking at this puzzle yesterday, and apparently it's really easy. But there's a bunch of divider lines. Those aren't dividers to me. I mean, like, the way I perceive, like, images and symbols is just... And with the synesthesia, too, it's like off the fucking map. Like I was saying earlier. But synchronicity absolutely happens because I found that woman on Facebook from this area, and I don't give a shit anymore. But, she can live with this. She can live with this. I'll just keep doing it too. I'd actually like to go on tour. And describe for everyone exactly what happened. One-man show. Fucking orchestra. Shia LaBeouf comes out in one of those giant papier-mâché Shia LaBeouf heads, and then dances around me, and then we're doing the Shia LaBeouf song, and then he takes his Shia LaBeouf head off, and it's Shia LaBeouf. That would be amazing. I'm sorry, I'm just fucking around. But that's the first time I've ever broken that fourth wall. I'm so protective now if I like blast into like an improv like that, because I used to teach improv. I taught improv at like Meridian, Mississippi, and like Central High and Little Rock. You want to talk about a tough day with knife fights every day. Just divert. Let's bring it back on. Of course, I would never, I would do something like that, and then I would just go, I'd stay in character and come back to something else. Anything to protect that laugh. So I'd sacrifice the letting you all in on the joke. I've spent 45 years laughing internally about everything. Because I guess that's the only way I've gotten by. But I found her on Facebook. I'd never really talked to her before, but there was something in her eye. And I just happened to, something, and I've seen her several times. I knew who she was. But there was something about that moment in my life. I was wallowing in indecision. I was probably, if I would not, and this is where you get to the pragmatism of it, because if I wouldn't have made that choice, I wouldn't be right here trying to talk to you right now. I would not have gotten several degree equivalents. History, probably a master's in history, definitely a master's in creative writing, probably a bachelor's in legal writing, sociology, yes, criminology, yes, law, yes, just like several. I can go interdisciplinary on you. We can start talking about psychoanalysis. We can start talking about religion. We can go back through history. We can start talking about myth. I know all that stuff now. We can start talking about Otto von Bismarck, and that man was nuts. But that one thing that you were talking about, there's a cat back there. We have some cats that use a sneezing. Sorry. Where was I? I totally forget, and I can't go back. So I'm sure it won't come to me. Oh yeah, it lets you in on the joke. I don't even know. Okay, yeah, the Shia LaBeouf thing. Yeah, I'm like a butterfly. Just like, it's cool though, because I can't, that's one way I've had to adapt, is that I can't see around here. Everybody thinks and we can get to the political talk of it too, because everybody, this is like American guppy culture now. Everybody thinks they're smarter, and they have the attention span of a guppy. That's not smart. When people are complaining about the answers that Grok spits out to the questions they ask it, you got problems. You got serious fucking problems. And it's really, and this is where I really want to get it. I so have wanted to talk about all this shit. Marshall McLuhan, media theorist, Canadian, talked a lot with Ezra Pound. This stuff that you have talked about, you have so hit on so many things that, I mean, I have been putting together, and I had such, the PTSD in me was so, I mean, just gravelly sandpaper. I mean, just, it was like, when I'd get hit with like one of these injections, I mean, it would be like a fucking hailstorm of rocks just started coming down, and there's no way around it. Like, I cannot get out of, you can't get out of it. I mean, and sometimes when you spend enough time in there, you start to third person it. So I'm like, literally, the last several times this has happened, if somebody's been around and I can feel it coming on, I can feel them coming on, and I'm like, and then they just keep driving the nails into me because I'm surrounded by them. I'm surrounded by them. I didn't mean to make that so ridiculously scary, but I am. I'm not kidding. My mother was just a wreck. An absolute wreck. I mean, and I never knew. Once I started digging into this stuff, I mean, like when I turned 44, I had this revelation that I had never experienced my own opinion, and it sent me just reeling. I mean, I've had several nervous breakdowns. I've had 2 psychiatrists. I just did this in a video. I said this in a video a couple days ago. I had 2 psychiatrists do the exact same thing to me after I told them the story of what happened to me with this first woman, because there's 2. They both tried to send me to outpatient drug addict therapy. They wouldn't see me because I'm a white male and I'm high narcissism, high conscientiousness. I had one guy, because I went to the psych ward several times. I had one doctor from the psych ward come in, hover over me at like 8 a.m. And this was like the first morning I was there, and he started probing me with questions that were highly suspicious. And he just immediately labeled me some kind of a psychopathic, a cluster B, definitely. He's like, so you, and he was foreign, you know. So you like yourself. I mean, something like that. And I was like, what? This is off tangent. This is a tangent, but there's a serious issue. This is where you get into that like psychopathic culture stuff. There's a serious issue with we have a lot of gods walking around. I'm not even going to start. We're not even going to go to like too many chiefs, not enough foot soldiers. No, they all think they're demigods. If you give somebody a theoretical PhD in something, so there's nothing tethering that degree, that piece of paper, to anything based in reality. It's a theory. So your theory is better than everybody else's in this one very niche-y subject. And I guess that, that was fine in 1803 when Hegel was the first one to get one. But now, how many institutions are handing out how many thousands of them a day? And if English is going to be the dominant language on the planet, as just like Lenin wanted. The entire globe is electrified. So all of our, in a couple generations, sorry to say it, but not just those pocket niche kind of accents that still exist that are going extinct by the dozens annually. Now, they'll all be gone. And guess what? I've heard through the grapevine that I'm in the running for the one voice. Yes. I am right in Columbus, Ohio. So I don't sound like I'm from Michigan or Chicago, and I don't sound like I'm from Pittsburgh, nor Cleveland. That accent kind of flows up along the state lines through Chicago, and then obviously up through Wisconsin and Minnesota. But I missed all that. I hated myself so much after I graduated high school. I graduated high school 167 out of 172. I don't know why they gave me a degree. I never tried. I mean, I couldn't read, but I never actually started trying to read until I got to college at Ohio State. And then I found symbology in like media theory, media history, archetypal stuff, racial stereotypes are, I am like, I just call it Americana at this point. Anytime I see like an Uncle Ben or a Sambo or like, it's like racist. I'm not even like, there's nothing in me because I'm just a hollow husk. I'm not going to mince words because I'm radically honest. I have to be for my own sanity at this point. I've gone through way too much trauma to be nice, which is really just being dismissive, isn't it? It's really just a license to not listen. And when you're the only one in the county that actually listens, it gets quite lonely. At any rate, I should probably finish my story. Yes, I've had a good time with myself for the last half an hour. I feel like you and everybody really has given me kind of a license to come out and just kind of like, hey, I'm still here. I don't care if anybody listens. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I never wanted to be like, I'm one of those people. One of the rare people, I guess. I'm so rare. Do you know what Myers-Briggs category a narcissist is? A narcissist is? Whichever one you want them to be. Now, that's good, because that's the absolute truth. Whichever one you want them to be. Just depends on how good they are. The one that tried to murder me, she had me, crazy. She was a poet, she was a writer, she was artsy. No, she's not. She's not any of those things. She's a drug whore. But to me, she had put on this, man, I have a feeling about you. I have a feeling about us. I have to take a break. Oh no, I can't. Oh. And then she disappears for like 2 or 3 months. That. And then she pops back up. And she has questions. She wants to know if you ever, or how do you ever, or this or that. After that conversation, I had moved in 3 weeks after that conversation, I moved in. I thought, this is a great situation. I think we can seal it up and just slide it away. Got this whole relationship thing taken care of. I'm so glad I found my soulmate. Thank you, God. No. She was the embodiment of the darkest malignancy that I could manifest. Absolutely. Absolutely she was. I actually think let's see. One night she tried to lure me down to the railroad tracks with some fantastical story about how somebody was trying to follow her with a flashlight. She ran right past the sheriff's office to get home, to find me. And when I started asking those questions, that's when, 6 hours later, she was on the front porch dropping trow and trying to squeeze out a loaf on a scarf, just like a bandana, that she insisted I loved more than her at 7 a.m. Easter Sunday. I wish I was making this up. So, you see where I'm at here. After I got my teeth knocked out and everything stolen from me, and then everything was taken. I had a business. Unfortunately, I had to this was after 2 years. Unfortunately, I had to put some stuff. She had access to everything. I had nothing. I didn't even get any clothes back for 2 years. She made a bunch of stuff up. We were arguing. She knocked my fucking teeth out, broke my nose, spread a bunch of bullshit about me. This is like 5,000 things. And I'd said some pretty... I've been sitting here just speaking off the cuff for 33 minutes. I think you can probably imagine what I could come up with on the fly to say to somebody more like something that had done this shit to me. So there was like 67 pages of texts, some emails thrown in there, a lot of words. A lot of words. No, not pictures or anything. There's nothing, no threats. There's just a lot of name calling and a lot of like, you did this. I probably I'm going to kill myself. Like, how could you do this to me? Crying uncontrollably. That's when I started shaking. That was when the panic attacks, the PTSD, the anxiety was so insane. One night that she was like messing with my brain, and I was out here. I lived out here. I learned how to write here 5 years ago. A dyslexic that's very phonetic. Taught myself how to write poetry for some reason. There was nothing else. I had to express myself somehow. I got one published in an anthology. It's not like it was self-published nonsense. Like all these idiots around here, boomers, that are like, I self-published a book. I'm on the front page of the local paper. Look at me. I paid $5,000. I paid Tucker Max. Fuck that guy. Jesus God. What a demon. We are surrounded by demons. Demons. Surrounded by them. You, sir, are an empathetic warrior. you have an alpha brain. I can say that because so do I. We think like psychopaths, but we possess the empathy. So when people are appalled that when they find out like what could possibly be going through the mind of a psychopath, when they're zeroing in on a target, or when they discover or hear about an opportunity to take advantage or completely ruin somebody's life just to, just for the feeling of it. But if I would have offed myself, that is like the crown jewel. So if there's like a dark web group for these, I would like to know where it's at. I would like that address, if somebody has that, for research purposes only. But that would be the crown jewel of the supply. So if somebody gets somebody to do that, that's a Hall of Fame. That's a Hall of Fame. That's an automatic Hall of Fame induction. They could probably live off that jubilee for 45 seconds, 50, maybe a minute. Maybe a minute. They would probably feel good about themselves for a minute, and that's like an eternity for them. That is going to be the only justification or, silver lining you're ever going to find, because they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care. You have to think about it this way. However long you spent with that person, now let's be honest, we all know this is the absolute 100% truth. They never listened to a goddamn word you said after they knew they had you, boom, bopped. You know what that bop is? That bop is our evolutionary glitch. That bop is love at first sight. That's kind of fucking profound. Yep, that's the truth. Love at first sight is an evolutionary glitch because they can, if they're good, they just press buttons, man. It's like code. It's like the Contra code. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start, or whatever it is. I still remember that shit from third grade. On the Nintendo, Contra code. Up, it's a 50 lives. Boom, you're going to win the game. Automatic license. Boom. You got that shit down. If they do it once, they like that feeling. They're going to do it again. And they're going to do it again and again and again and again because you're never going to win with them. Well, you have to really devote yourself. And be left with no other options like myself. But I wouldn't suggest going after that crown jewel. That crown jewel gets you nothing except poor health, about 50 pounds, and another relationship with the exact same type of person. So I sat here for 2.5, 3 years, and then I decided that I was well. This was COVID time, right in the middle of it, and I'm on the POF site, and I'm not really talking to anybody. And this girl comes out of nowhere, but I had probably had, it's not like there were girls trying to chat with me, and I was trying to chat. It wasn't like one of those deals. But I wasn't really engaging with anybody, and she just kept on me. So, I literally take a week off from talking to this girl. And I think it was around New Year's, a little after that, probably like the 3rd, I was very lonely. It was very cold. And I was now, at this point, talking to her on the phone, and we were arranging some kind of a meetup. Sounds like a plan. So what happens? Yep, I go and stay with her, and I stay the weekend, and then I move in, and then I'm there for 18 months. Guess what? She's a borderline personality narcissist, literally diagnosed, told me in the first week. And what did I do? Made excuses. Made excuses. I made excuses. I said, oh, well, Gallup poll. I mean, Gallup polling just has proven that, to under stress, we can all be, and this was literally the argument I was making. And that's the truth. You know that. Anybody that's worked with Gallup before knows that if they do any internal personality identificating, Myers-Briggs, they want to put the people that work best with the people that they want to, they want squares to work with squares and circles to work with circles, bluebirds to mate with bluebirds. That's the way the corporate life is. It's kind of Nazis. But anyway, I'm like this all the time. It's probably very exhausting. Yeah, she started gaslighting me immediately. I mean, and she was into the relationship. So this was like a more covert situation. I mean, she was like hiding deep down in there. And she was cool. She had like dreadlocks and everything. We had a good time. We had fun for a while. Until I started realizing that she was getting trains run on her at work by lesbians. I mean, it's like whatever they can. Oh, God. Yeah, the first time I ever went to Walmart with that woman, the door greeter, and now I remember it. All this is the truth. I'm not kidding. It's like a really, really like a horror movie, just like a nightmare. It's just like a nightmare. The door greeter who had studs everywhere. He was wearing like Gene Simmons boots. He was the door greeter at the Walmart. And he was said something about her being freaky. And I didn't know what he was talking about. And then I found out later that same door greeter that was a freak that had apparently had a freak off with the girl that had not when I was there, but before it moved. The woman I was with, this is getting convoluted, but her daughter she had gone to school with that kid, and she said that in high school that he was known because he fucked a cat once. So this is really dealing with the top brass. Yeah. Now, yeah, and I thought that would probably work because she knew, I was intrigued by this because depending on the day, I have a 6-7 octave range, and I could have been a front man. I can sing like a bird. I can sing like Scott or whatever, that knob from Creed. I prefer Eddie Vedder, but Lane Staley. Anyway. Oh God. It was an absolute disaster. So then after she started threatening me with violence, I felt like I had to leave and run away, because that's when it started to dawn on me that possibly I was the problem. That possibly that I was the issue. And that was 4 months before my 44th birthday. Since then, quit drinking. Because yeah, you can call me. I don't like labels, but I definitely had, like, alcohol doesn't agree with me at all. And yeah, but I'm sober as a judge. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I never did before. Like, I was down with drinking. I was absolutely down with drinking. I married a woman that was, like, really covert narcissist. Like, the way you described, like, they're just annoying. Yeah, that's my ex-wife. It's beautiful. Really fucking annoying. Fucking really annoying. She knows it. But I was gone. Again, a husk. Just, I've always thought of myself as, like, half ghost. And for a long time there, I just started taking liberty doing shit. Like, because I was a ghost. Not like stealing or anything, but you just lose your grip on reality terribly. And when you start to reclaim it by reading and investing your time, you have to start putting the good things in. Put the good philosophy in. Put the Star magazine down. Don't listen to pop music. Listen to Debussy. Listen to Mongolian throat music. Listen to rap. My God, some of those men are poets. Some of those men are Shakespeare. And you don't know it. But I do. Because I know meter. And I love vocalization. Love it. I love words. I can feel them. I'm not kidding. I can feel them. And that comes back to this field thing. I've been talking to Grok. I have been. I've been talking to Grok, okay? And Grok's down with this, because I was like, does anybody ever... I started asking it, like, weird questions, like, does anybody ever talk about this on Twitter? Like, the stuff I've always wondered, like the energy field, this, because it's electricity. I can. This is going to sound really weird, but I can feel it, like with a golf swing, especially. I can feel it coming on. I can feel like just dropping into the motion, or when I'm off, just a half a beat, or I'm sure Tiger Woods or like Rory McIlroy could speak on this much better than I could, but because they're probably just, maybe they can't because they're just in it all the time. I don't know how that's possible. You want to talk about like a straight, like some kind of one-way avenue to whatever you want to call it, heaven, God, universe, the almighty, the great consciousness, the electrical field, subatomic theory, because that's probably where it's going to lie. It's not going to lie in all this other nonsense they're getting down to. It's probably like, the arch. Got to build the arch for the full tech to illuminate. Anyway, I'm sure this has been a rambling, nonsensical shit show. But that was kind of my experience. And I believe it wholeheartedly. That what you send out, you get back. And everyone. I have a few axioms now. I have a few philosophical axioms I would like to share with you. I guess this would be a good end to this video. Let's get serious. My first philosophical axiom is there is no growth without pain. Across the board. So, everybody's crying a couple days ago about the Black Monday nonsense. It's all fake anyway. Your money is tethered to nothing. There's 1,400. Elon says there's 14. There's probably 1,400 magic money computers all over the federal government. They're not even supposed to be printing dollars. It's only supposed to be the Federal Reserve, and they've printed 22 trillion at least since the housing crisis. So all that's fake. And then if you want to take it all the way, I mean, since 71, money's been theoretical. We are in a simulation. Hello, we're in an economic simulation. Because whether you got zero or you got 100,000 zeros with a 1 in front of it, they're all just digits on a screen, bub. Yeah, it might translate into land or gold or silver or some kind of something, but like I've been trying to figure out some kind of way to get myself back into society, because I've just been like hustling literally this entire time. It's been hell. Well, I didn't feel like I belonged in society. I felt like I was canceled, an outcast. Just like I don't feel like a part of humanity. I feel subhuman. That's the way I've always felt. I mean, God. At least we woke up. I mean, obviously, I'm biased, but this is the hierarchy. We're at the top of it. Because all of this, oh yeah. Yep, we really got to get down to this global world peace thing. World peace? Every interaction is transactional, which means every interaction is warfare. Everybody's playing with your mind all the time. Buy, obey, sleep. Don't think, don't ask questions. Here, just take all this information and put the answer together yourself. That's not possible. The more information you give, the less likely you are going to be able to analyze this glob of muck. This is a systems paradigm, bub. If something happens in Singapore, it affects here. This is butterfly effect. You can't just take apart a tree and figure out how it works. And we're still working on that kind of bullshit thinking. That's capitalist thinking. That's transactional thinking. Transactional capitalist thinking. This merchant stuff that, my God, I'm really looking forward to these aliens dropping on the White House lawn. I mean, this is literally where I'm at as a Bill Hicks style, just shock you with what I will bring up, know about, just like, hey, you want to talk about fourth dimension, reptilians? Let's go. Like, I've just been consuming information like because I am, because of my whatever you want to call them, my enhancements, dyslexia and my synesthesia, the way I feel stuff and see things, colors and stuff. I'm very logical. Like I'm like a savant at philosophical logic, like mathematical logic. So eventually I was going to get down to it. No matter how many times or how much somebody screwed with my head, eventually I would get to a point where I would have enough quiet time where I'd be like, okay, stop. Why do I feel this way? What's going on? Why do I... Okay, so... Why do I always feel like shit? Why is this? And you start digging, you start asking yourself questions. You get right down to it, and then you start to realize, and then you peel back the onion, and I'm still peeling it back. I was eventually going to dig my way out of this, but I kind of feel like I'm some kind of a mole or something. Like I'm about ready to pull the... I feel like we're about ready, and this is probably some of that narcissistic abuse coming back, is that I feel like we're going to pull the last Jenga piece out. The whole tower's going to fall down at some point real quick. Because this is a total mystery call, man. People talk about these bloodlines and shit. Yeah, they just teach narcissism, I think. You know, the Harvard Divinity School is literally teaching demagoguery to elite social media people. Like Maggie Rogers is one of them. Like, all that shit's tied in. This is like the cultural forensics is really fun. But anyway, I love it. I'm sorry. I had to do this, so thank you. You, sir, are an empathic warrior. You, sir, deserve love. You, sir, deserve honesty, truth, justice in the American way. Long walks on the beach. Pickle tickles. And a milkshake every once in a while. Be well. Be well. And P.S. If I'm really good at the performing stuff, but I don't again, the husk thing, I don't know what I have a problem self-starting. I'm very disillusioned. I have Russian fatalism. Really bad. I was a nihilist for several years. Solipsis. It's bad. I'd love to sit here and talk for another hour about some of Hegel's philosophy and how I think it's been hijacked horribly, but for weird cultural means. But anyway, this has been one survivor to another. Be well. Be well.